Hello friends, here we are today outside the Salvador Dali Museum in St. Petersburg, Florida. That's right, Florida, not Spain, you know, the place with the beaches and alligators and people who wrestle alligators. There's none of that here. This is one of the largest collections of Dali's work outside of Spain, and there are some incredible pieces in here. So come inside and let's take a look at this amazing museum. The Salvador Dali Museum has more of Dali's masterpieces than any other museum in the world, except for the one Dali himself created in Spain. But let's be honest, if Dali built his own museum, it probably has secret portals to other dimensions, a gift shop run by melting clocks, and a guided tour by a talking lobster telephone. Florida's version is a little more grounded. Slightly. Now, I walked into this place thinking, I know Dali. He's the guy with the curly mustache and the melty clocks. Oh no, my friends. Dali is so much more than that. This museum has over 2,400 pieces of his works. Paintings, drawings, prints, sculptures, even manuscripts. It's like stepping into the brain of a man who drank too much espresso, fell asleep watching a sci-fi movie, and then woke up and painted what he saw.
Hi, my name is Kayla Dorsey. I'm the Director of Visitor Experience here at the Dalí. Um, Here at the Dalí Museum, you can see a myriad of things. We are the one of the preeminent single artist collections in North America. We also host other blockbuster exhibitions such as Frida Kahlo, Pablo Picasso, just to name a few. We have over 2,400 works in our collection, so it's very vast, including our incredible masterworks, which you can see in augmented reality. So the museum does have a digital focus. We have AR, AI, VR, and just to name a few, you can actually meet Dali and he'll take a selfie with you here.
And let's talk about some of these paintings, shall we? We've got the hallucinogenic Toreador, one of my favorites, which, honestly, I stared at it for 10 minutes before realizing there was even a bullfighter in it. This is the Discovery of America by Christopher Columbus, and it is huge. I felt like I should be getting extra credit just for looking at it. Such a beautiful piece. This one, the Ecumenical Council, is Dali basically saying religion, science, classical art? Boom! Have all of it. You're welcome. Then there's Geopoliticus Child Watching the Birth of the New Man, which, besides having a title longer than my last tax return, looks like a baby crawling out of an egg, like it just realized it was late for a meeting. And of course, the disintegration of the persistence of memory, where he basically took his famous melty clocks and said, you know what this needs? More science. Let's break it apart. Some great pieces of art. Now, if you think that Dali was just some weirdo who painted bizarre dreamscapes, well, you're missing the bigger picture. The man had technical skill. The dude could paint a realistic hand better than most people can even take a selfie. He studied fine arts in Madrid, dabbled in Impressionism, toyed with Cubism, then cozied up with the Surrealists in the 1920s. Then, in true Dali fashion, he eventually went, Surrealism? I'm over it. Let's get mystical. And suddenly, he was painting religious visions with atomic particles because, why not?
One of my favorite things about Dali is that he had a lot of ambition and he wasn't scared to try different things. He mastered, as you can see in our collection in the early works, the basket of bread, actually. He mastered realism and almost that picture-perfect kind of photographic painting style. And he felt like you needed to master the old ways, such as Vermeer and Rembrandt, to break the rules. So he learned all the rules before breaking them. And then he let his imagination and his subconscious take over once he joined the Surrealism. And that's how he became kind of the forefront of the Surrealist movement with his melting clocks and that classic image, which was inspired by melting cheese, so Camembert cheese.
The museum isn't just about showing off Dali's work, it's about understanding it. They want you to learn, to appreciate art in all its weird and wonderful forms. And if Dali's melting landscapes and floating elephants aren't your thing, well, that's okay, because the history and evolution of art this museum presents should appeal to anyone that appreciates art in general.
My favorite piece is probably Eggs on a Plate Without a Plate. Dali was really fun with his titles. That they were always quite lengthy and quite surreal. But I just think the color scheme, the story behind it is really very Dalinian. It's kind of a reference to him feeling like he has inner uterine memories. Love saying that phrase. That he coined, which is essentially, he remember when he was in his mom's womb, he has memories from that and he's painting it. So very interesting piece. The one I like to talk about the most though is probably different. That's The Average Bureaucrat. That's when he had a few tensions with his father, and there's lots of surrealist symbols to kind of pick apart there, and who can't relate to sometimes getting a little upset with your parents.
There are also some very spectacular interactive elements presented here, because looking at surrealism isn't weird enough. They want you inside of it. First, there's an AI dream interpreter. You type in your dream, like, I was riding a giant hamster through a storm of spaghetti, and bam, it turns it into a surrealistic painting. And the best part? It adds your dream to a public mural for the day. So now strangers can come by and say, wow, I had no idea someone out there also dreamt of a fish wearing a tuxedo riding a unicycle. And then there's the Dali phone. You pick it up and ask Dali questions like, Dali, what's the meaning of life? And he replies in a poetic riddle based on a database of his writings and history. Meanwhile, Siri's in your pocket like, yo, I can Google that for you. And my favorite, using your phone to bring paintings to life. You hold it up, and suddenly the melting clocks start ticking. The mustached man in the painting winks at you, and elephants with giraffe legs start sashaying around like it's a Paris Fashion Week. It's like an art gallery and a haunted house had a baby. And honestly, if Dali were alive today, I think he'd really love it. I mean, he'd probably even be on TikTok making videos where he deep fries clocks and calls it performance art. And we'd all watch, because, I mean, let's be real. If surrealism has taught us anything, it's that nothing makes sense, and that's exactly why we love it. And let's be real, whether you love Dali or think that his art looks like a fever dream gone wrong, this museum is well worth a visit. Its history, its creativity, its imagination on steroids. Plus it's indoors, air-conditioned, and doesn't involve wrestling an alligator. So it's already one of the top 5 things to do in Florida.
So we are all over on social media and the web. You can visit us at thedali.org. So THEDALI.org, O-R-G. That's where you can find the most ample information, planning your visit, group tours, private tours, anything that you would like to see with the Dali. Our calendar of events and programming is available on there as well. You can also catch us on social media such as Instagram. We have TikTok and Facebook.
There you go. That's a look inside the Salvador Dali Museum out here in St. Petersburg, Florida. Make sure you check out their website to get more information of how you can get tickets, where they are, other things that you can do out here at the museum. It's amazing. If you are not a fan of Dali, just mildly interested in art, definitely come, because you're going to be a fan of Dali after you leave here. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, click that like button to let the powers that be know that you like the video. And while you're at it, click on follow or subscribe. And if you have a favorite painting or work of Dali, let me know down in the comments. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.